For men over 50, what if I told you that your low energy, interrupted sleep, and declining potency aren't three separate problems, but one problem? A single broken link in a chain that causes the entire system to fail. And what if I told you that most men try to fix this the wrong way? They take something for energy in the morning, something for anxiety in the afternoon, and maybe something for performance at night, treating the symptoms but never addressing the root cause. It's a losing battle that leaves you frustrated and feeling like aging is a sentence of decline. But I'm here to tell you it's not. I see this every day in my office. Good men, strong men, who suddenly feel their bodies are betraying them. It's that heavy fatigue that sets in around 3 p.m., that mental fog that steals your focus. It's the frustration of lying in bed, exhausted, but with a racing mind, knowing you'll wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. It's the loss of confidence that comes when your libido and performance are no longer consistent, when you feel that explosion and vitality have simply vanished. This triad of frustration, poor sleep, low vigor, and declining potency is exhausting, and you deserve a real solution. But the solution isn't a cocktail of stimulants in the morning and sleeping pills at night. The solution is understanding why this is happening. What if I told you the solution might be a single vitamin that 80% of you aren't taking correctly? A master nutrient that, when taken at the right time, at night, can be the key to resetting your entire system. We're not talking about a temporary fix. We're talking about fixing the foundation of your nightly repair, allowing your body to finally do the job it was designed for, healing, recharging, and restoring your vitality. I am Dr. Scarlett Cole, and for over a decade, my work as a functional medicine specialist has focused on a simple truth: finding the root cause. I don't treat isolated parts, I treat the system. I've learned that the male body doesn't suddenly break down at 50 or 60. Most of the time, it's just crying out for help, asking for a crucial ingredient that has been depleted. The enemy here isn't your age. The enemy is what I call the nighttime short circuit, a state of chronic stress that burns through your most important mineral, preventing your nervous system from even switching off. The message I want you to hear today is, your body isn't broken. It just needs the right signal to heal. In the next few minutes, I'm going to guide you through exactly that solution. I'll explain how this specific vitamin, which is technically a mineral, first repairs the pillar of your deep sleep. Then I'll show you how that quality sleep translates directly into daytime vigor and energy. And finally, how these two pillars together restore the foundation for potency and hormonal health. But you need to stick with me until the end, because in the last segment, I'll reveal the two specific forms of this mineral that actually work, and the common form that most people buy, and which, frankly, is a complete waste of money. We want real results, not expensive supplements that aren't absorbed. Before we dive into the first pillar, I need a quick favor that makes a big difference. If you're ready to stop treating symptoms and finally start addressing the root cause of your health, please hit the like button below. It's a signal to me that this message resonates with you and helps the algorithm ensure that other men who need to hear this also find this video. It's a simple way to say yes to real solutions, not outdated myths about aging. What city or country are you watching Dr. Scarlett from? Comment below. I love seeing where my community is coming from. Let's start with the foundation of everything: deep sleep. If you don't sleep well, nothing else works. You can't have energy, you can't have focus, and your body can't produce hormones optimally. The simplest and most impactful solution I implement with my patients is to focus on magnesium, specifically the right forms like glycinate or threonate, taken about 60 minutes before bed. This is not a sleeping pill, it's a shutdown signal to your body. It's the first domino we need to knock down to restore the whole system, and it's where the real magic of repair begins to happen. The why behind this is crucial. Magnesium is your brain's natural brake. Think of your brain as a race car. During the day, stress and the demands of life keep your foot on the gas pedal. That's your cortisol and adrenaline. The problem is that for many men over 50, that accelerator gets stuck. You lie down, but your mind keeps racing. Magnesium is the brake pedal. It physically binds to your GABA receptors in the brain, which are the receptors that calm the nervous system. It literally tells your brain, the race is over, it's safe to turn it off. Without enough magnesium, your brakes are worn out, and you never fully stop the car. That's why so many men wake up at 3 a.m. with a racing heart. Often, it's a nocturnal cortisol spike because the nervous system never truly calmed down. Magnesium helps modulate this cortisol, allowing you not only to fall asleep, but to stay asleep, and most importantly, reach slow-wave sleep. This is the stage of sleep where your body physically repairs itself, clears toxins from the brain, and consolidates memories. You can't have vigor or potency if you're not immersing yourself in this deep repair state every night, and magnesium is the gateway to it. The science behind this is clear and not new. A pivotal study published in the Journal of Research in Medical Sciences analyzed older adults and found that magnesium supplementation significantly improved subjective sleep quality, sleep onset time, and, crucially, increased melatonin levels, the sleep hormone, and reduced serum cortisol, the stress hormone. We're not guessing, we're measuring a real physiological change. We're giving the body the raw material it's been begging for to finally perform its nightly repair work, something prescription sleeping pills simply can't do. I vividly remember a patient, Robert, a 62-year-old executive. He came into my office looking gray, completely exhausted. He told me, "Dr. Scarlett, I think it's normal to wake up 4 or 5 times a night. It's just age, right?" He was frustrated. His energy was at rock bottom, and it was affecting his marriage. We put him on a simple protocol, focused, on 350 milliliters of magnesium glycinate an hour before bed. A week later, he returned for a follow-up appointment, and I hardly recognized him. He said, "A doctor, on the 3rd night, I slept 7 hours straight. 7 hours. I hadn't done that in a decade. That's the change I want for you." Does this make sense to you? This idea that your brain needs a break and not just a forced switch? Before we move on to the energy pillar, tell me in the comments, what is your biggest struggle right now? Sleep, energy, or potency? Be honest with me and yourself. Typing this in the comments is the first step to acknowledging the problem and claiming the solution. Let's see which pillar is affecting our community the most today. Now, let's talk about the second pillar, daytime vigor and energy. So many men come to my office asking for something for energy. They think they need a stimulant, more coffee, or maybe even a prescription to keep them alert. They are spending fortunes on energy drinks that only increase cortisol and worsen the problem in the long run. The shocking truth for many of them is that the secret to daytime energy is not what you take in the morning. It's what happens while you sleep. Daytime energy is forged in deep, restorative sleep. Vigor is not something you take. It's something you build overnight. The mechanism here is twofold. First, let's talk about your mitochondria. These are the little power plants inside almost every cell in your body. They create the universal energy molecule called ATP. Magnesium is absolutely crucial to this process. It's a cofactor in hundreds of biochemical reactions, including the creation of ATP. Without enough magnesium, your power plants simply can't function at full capacity. You're operating at low voltage. But, more importantly, it's what happens during slow-wave sleep that magnesium enables. During this deep sleep, your brain goes through a cleaning process. It literally eliminates metabolic byproducts that accumulate during the day, including a chemical called adenosine. Adenosine is what creates sleep pressure, that feeling of tiredness and mental fogginess at the end of the day. When you sleep deeply, you clear all the adenosine. When you don't sleep, when your sleep is interrupted or very light, you wake up with residual adenosine. That's why you feel groggy even after 8 hours in bed. You wake up tired and no amount of coffee can fix that. Think of it this way. Trying to have energy during, the day without a good night's sleep is like expecting your smartphone to work all day after you've left it on the charger for only 10 minutes. It might turn on, but the battery will be at 20%. Magnesium, by ensuring that deep, slow-wave sleep is the nightly charger that guarantees you wake up with 100% battery every morning. It's the difference between starting the day already depleted and starting the day with a clean, constant surplus of energy, ready to face any challenge. The science. Linking magnesium deficiency to fatigue is overwhelming. Studies have directly correlated low magnesium levels with symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome. It's a vicious cycle. Stress depletes magnesium, low magnesium impairs sleep, and poor sleep causes fatigue, which increases stress. We're trapped in this cycle. My patients who optimize their magnesium levels don't report a nervous or anxious energy like from coffee. They report something much better. They feel normal again. They report a calm, focused, and resilient energy that lasts all day. I had a patient, Carlos, a 58-year-old contractor. He worked physically all day and was surviving on 6 cups of coffee and an energy drink. He was exhausted, irritable, and his blood pressure was high. He felt he needed more stimulation. I told him, Carlos, you don't need more stimulants. You need a relaxant at the right time. He was skeptical, but he trusted the process. 2 weeks after focusing only on nighttime magnesium and cutting, back on coffee, he said his brain fog had disappeared for the first time in years. He was finishing his workday with energy to spare to play with his grandchildren. Before I reveal the third pillar, and this is the one most men really want to know about, potency, I want to ask a quick question. Is this something new to you? The idea that a relaxant at night can be the key to daytime energy? Have you tried taking magnesium before? I want to know your experience. Comment below yes if you've tried it or no if this idea is new to you. Your response helps others in the community see that they are not alone on this journey. All right, let's talk about the third pillar: potency, libido, and hormonal health. This is often the real unspoken concern that brings men to my office. They may complain of fatigue or sleepiness, but what really scares them is the feeling that they are losing their masculine vitality, their confidence. And they've been led to believe that this is just an inevitable part of aging, that their only option is drastic pharmaceutical solutions. But in functional medicine, we know that consistent potency is an outcome. It is a result of deep sleep, pillar 1, and abundant energy, pillar 2, both driven by the master mineral. The magic here happens on 2 crucial fronts. The first front is hormonal. What most men don't realize is that peak testosterone production doesn't happen at the gym. It happens in your bed, specifically during REM sleep and slow-wave deep sleep. You can do all the right exercises and eat all the right protein, but if you're not getting that restorative sleep because your nervous system is short-circuiting, you're cutting your T production in half. By fixing your sleep with magnesium, you're literally optimizing your own natural testosterone factory every night. The second front is circulation. Power, at its most mechanical level, is a matter of blood flow. It requires a healthy cardiovascular system and relaxed, responsive blood vessels. Chronic stress does the opposite. It constricts blood vessels, raising blood pressure and restricting flow to the extremities. Magnesium is one of the body's most potent and natural vasodilators. It acts as a muscle relaxant, not only in skeletal muscles, but also in the smooth muscles lining the artery walls. It allows these vessels to open, reducing blood pressure and allowing blood to flow freely where it's needed. The analogy I use with my patients is this. If your blood flow is a garden hose, chronic stress and magnesium deficiency are like someone constantly tying knots in the hose. You can open the tap, your heart, as much as you want, but only a trickle of water comes out. You get frustrated, blaming the hose when the problem is the knots. Magnesium is what systematically goes and unties those knots, one by one. It relaxes the system, allowing the full water pressure, your healthy blood flow, to be restored to all areas of your body. And science supports this direct connection. A very interesting study in the International Journal of Endocrinology found that in men, magnesium levels were strongly and independently correlated with total and free testosterone levels. Higher magnesium levels equated to higher T levels. This is separate from the sleep benefit. Magnesium is working in multiple ways to support your hormonal health. We are giving the body what it needs to regulate stress hormones, cortisol, and, at the same time, giving it the building block for vitality hormones, testosterone. I remember a patient, Mark, a 67-year-old professor. He originally came in because of fatigue and brain fog. He felt he was losing his spark. He mentioned, almost as an afterthought, that his intimate life with his wife had diminished, and he accepted this as part of getting older. His main focus was simply having the energy to teach his classes. We began working on optimizing his sleep and replenishing his magnesium levels. 6 weeks later, he returned. His energy was better, his brain fog had disappeared, but it was what he said next that stuck with me. He leaned in and said, "Doctor, I don't know what we did, but there's been a surprising improvement in morning confidence, if you know what I mean." That was his result. Before I get to the most important part, the exact forms of magnesium you should look for, and the one you should avoid like the plague, I want you to pause for a second. Are you seeing how these 3 pillars, sleep, stamina, and potency, aren't separate issues? Are you seeing how they're all connected? If that connection is making sense to you, if the light bulb is going off, I want you to comment below with a single word: ready. Comment ready if you're ready to stop treating symptoms and start fixing the system. Okay, you've stayed with me, and this is the most important part. This is the promise I made at the beginning. It's no use understanding the why if you don't know the how. The Supplement market is confusing, and many companies sell low-quality products. When it comes to magnesium, the form you take absolutely determines the outcome you'll get. You can't just buy any bottle that says magnesium and expect your potency to improve and your sleep to deepen. Most cheap and common methods simply don't work for these purposes. Here's what you need to actively avoid. Magnesium oxide. This is the most common form you'll find in pharmacies and supermarkets because it's cheap to produce. The problem? It's terribly poorly absorbed by the body. We're talking absorption rates as low as 4%. Essentially, almost none of it gets into your bloodstream or your cells where it's needed. Instead, it stays in your gut, attracts water, and acts as a laxative. If you want help going to the bathroom, magnesium oxide is great. If you want help with sleep, energy, or brain function, it's a complete waste of money. Now, let's focus on what works. The two forms I most recommend to my patients for this specific goal of sleep, stress, and repair. The first is magnesium glycinate. This form is chelated, meaning the magnesium is bound to a glycine molecule, an amino acid. This makes it highly bioavailable. Your body can actually absorb and use it, and it has the advantage of being very gentle on the stomach. Glycine itself also acts as a calming neurotransmitter, so you get a double effect. The magnesium relaxes the muscles and nervous system, and the glycine calms the brain. It's my go-to choice for most men seeking better sleep and body relaxation. The second form, which is a bit more specialized, is magnesium threonate. This is a newer and more fascinating form because it's the only form of magnesium that has been shown to effectively cross the blood-brain barrier. What does this mean? It means it goes directly into your brain. For men whose main complaint is racing mind, anxiety, or who are also concerned about cognitive health and memory, magnesium threonate is an exceptional choice. As for dosage, a safe starting range for most men is between 200 milliliters and 400 milliliters of elemental magnesium, taken 60 minutes before bedtime. Start low, see how your body responds, and adjust as needed. So there you have it. What we started as three seemingly separate problems, your disrupted sleep, your declining energy, and your inconsistent potency, we now see are actually three symptoms of a single root cause: the nighttime short circuit, a nervous system that can't switch off, depleted of its master relaxation mineral. We've seen how deep sleep is the pillar that sustains everything. We've seen how that sleep translates into clean energy and daily vigor, and how both are the foundation for hormonal health and healthy blood flow, which is the basis of potency. As you can see, power, vigor, and sleep aren't things you lose forever with age. They aren't stolen from you. They are abilities the body regains when it has the right raw materials. The enemy isn't your birth certificate. The enemy is nutritional deficiency and chronic stress. You're not broken. You may just be deficient. The message I want you to take away from this video is one of hope and control. You have the power to change this. You don't need a dozen complicated interventions. Start by fixing your sleep. Start by giving your body the safe signal it needs to shut down and repair. Start replenishing this master mineral and just watch. Watch as the other dominoes begin to fall. Watch as your afternoon energy returns. Watch as your mind calms at night. Watch as your confidence returns. Vitality isn't about age, it's about action. And you can start taking action tonight. If this information opened your eyes and gave you a clear action plan, the greatest favor you can do me is help this message reach more men. If you found it valuable, please hit the like button right now. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and turn on notifications because my job is to bring the truth about men's health, free from exaggeration. And if you thought of a friend, brother, father, or partner who is struggling with these same issues, please share this video with them. In the comments, tell me, what change are you committing to starting tonight? I am Dr. Scarlett Cole, and this information is provided for educational and informational purposes only. It is not intended to replace professional medical advice. Always consult your personal physician or a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new supplement or making any changes to your health regimen. Individual results may vary.